with a tutorial on animating within Photoshop. So this is going to be traditional animation, so frame by frame animation, and the best way that I've found to go about doing it. So this involves using the timeline. So I'm going to set up a new document here. I'm going to create a film and video document, and then this should be 1920 by 1080. So I'm just going to shrink this a bit, and what we want to do is go up to Window if you haven't got it up already, and go down to Timeline, and this should open up this timeline bar at the bottom. You want to click Create Video Timeline. Now a lot of people use these layers here to create frames one by one, and they create multiple layers, but I tend to use video layers. This is how I go about doing it. So if we go up to Layer, and then go down to Video Layers in this menu, and then go to New Blank Video Layer. This creates a video layer in the side layer window here. You can see there's a weird little symbol there, and it means you can create multiple frames on one single layer. So the next thing you want to do is if you go down to your timeline and you go down to the right hand side, there's a little menu here. If we click on this little menu, you can enable shortcuts. So let me just find out what that is. Enable timeline shortcuts here. So what this allows you to do is to actually use the arrow keys on your keyboard to skip through frames. So for instance, if I get a brush now, I've got black, so I just decrease the brush size, do a line, and then my next frame, if I press the arrow key, I can go through and create multiple layers, and I can scrub through that there. So you might be thinking, oh right, what about onion skinning? Well, that's available as well, so you can enable onion skinning. That's great. And I think you can specify as well the onion skin settings as to how many frames you can see before and after, and the opacity and stuff like that you might be familiar with other programs. Okay, so this might be a bit slow because I'm recording as well, but hopefully it would speed up once I stop. I'm just going to turn off enable onion skinning. So another thing that I tend to do is I tend to create new frames as well. So sometimes you might want to, if you do like ladders or whatever like this. I haven't done this in ages, but if you want to like add frames in between, like your in betweens and stuff, I go up to Layer, and then go to Video Layer again, and then you can insert blank keyframe. And that inserts a blank keyframe, and you can do that in between your layers. You just have to go to the layer that you're on, the layer I think it's the layer before, the layer that you want to add. Go to Video Layers and then insert blank frame, and then you've got one in between then. So this is the blank one. Yeah, so so it might get a bit tedious going up to this menu and going create blank frames all the time, insert blank frames. So what I tend to do is I create actions. So if you don't know what actions are like a repetitive like access to a menu item, such as what I've just done, that's pre-recorded, and you can assign that to a button. So what I tend to do is I tend to use my F keys, like F2, F3, F4 and stuff like that. So this is how they work. So if you can't see actions at the side here, let's go to your workspace, and then if you set your workspace to motion, and then it should have this sort of layout, and your actions is there. It's the play button. You can also get it from Window under Actions. It should open up. Okay, so what you want to do is create a new action. Okay, and you can name the action. So I'm going to name this insert frame. And then I'm going to I'm going to put this as F3. I'm using a Cintiq at the moment, so I've got side buttons on my Cintiq that I could just quickly access. But you could just use your keyboard as long as you get used to it. So once I've named it and I've assigned the key, you can also assign like Shift as well as the key or something like that. So let's say if you've already got an F3, your F3 already does something, then you can say I want Shift and F3 to do the action instead. But I'm just going to leave it as F3. Click record, and then literally just do the action. So go up to layer, go up to video layer, and then insert blank frame, and then press stop. Okay, so now that action's recorded. When I click F3 now, it should insert a blank keyframe. Now, so this is frame 1, and then this is 2. So I'm going to call it 3 now because I want to put 2 in between it. Let's say I want to put 2. So I'll go to 1, and I'm going to click F3, and then I've inserted a frame. So the action's worked. If that doesn't work for you, it might be something to do with your system preferences. In that your F key, your F keys might not be enabled. So if you go to system preferences and you go to keyboards, sorry if you're on a PC, because I don't know how it works, but you've got use all F1 and F2 keys and stuff like that. And you just tick that to enable it to enable the function on your keyboard. Okay. Right, so that's one action that I've set up, and then I want to set up another action now. So if I create a new action, and I'm going to call this duplicate frame, and I'm going to put this as F4, press record, and then I've got to go to layer, video layers. Okay, there's nothing in the frame at the moment, so there has to be something in the frame, so I'm going to press stop a minute. Okay, so nothing's recorded. I need to go to an actual frame with something in it, so this has got something in it now. Okay, so I'm going to press record again with that selected, this duplicate frame selected. Go up to layer, video layer, duplicate frame, so it's not grayed out anymore. That's great, press stop, and then I'll create another one. And this is going to be delete frame. So okay, I'm going to put this as F2. Press record. Go up to layer. Go to video layers. And delete frame. And press stop. Cool. So that's about your lot really. So so you can see on your timeline here. There's my arrow keys. I can zoom in and I can see all the frames that it's going through. And then if I can make my canvas smaller or something like that. So if I put this in pixels, see what it is. So it is 1920 by 1080. You might want to make it 1280 by 720 or something like that to make it slightly smaller if your computer's struggling. Right, I think that's it. Hope you like this tutorial.